everybody doesn't need solar.
No.
Solar is, it's a nice alternative, whatever. You can say,
Yeah,
I heard the pitch. I get it.
I got a buddy that he has like 70 acres in Tennessee, lives off the grid, has solar. He loves it.
Sure.
It's great for him.
Right.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everyone. So you got too many trees in your yard, you can't have it anyway, right?
Correct. Correct.
Life insurance, everybody needs it.
Everybody.
Everyone needs it. Whether you own a house, whether you don't, whether you're unemployed, you need life, because when you die, everyone may not need the same amount, but you need something. What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you've been on this little world tour lately, huh?
It's been fun.
Yeah. Now, you live in Utah, right?
Correct.
Is that where you're from?
No. So I originally was born in California.
Okay.
So lived in the Bay Area until I was about probably 12, 13 years old.
Okay.
Moved to Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then I've lived in Tennessee up until April this last year.
Got it.
And then I moved to a really small town. It's called Midway, Utah.
Yeah.
It's about 23 minutes outside of Park City. So.
What brought you from Tennessee to Utah?
Well, there's sno there.
Oh, you went to the snow.
I went to the snow.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever the opposite of a snowbird, that's what I am. So.
Got it. Okay. Love it. You been in Utah how long now?
I moved there in April of last year, but I mean, to be honest, I was on the road for about 7 months last year, scaling the group. So.
Yeah. And you're still on the road. So what are you doing on the road?
So I go to the different offices.
Yeah.
So obviously we have an office in Knoxville, Sevierville. We have one in Tampa. We have one in Vegas. We have one in New Orleans just opened up.
Yeah.
And then we're working on Sedona. But I mostly just go around, help the agents, train the agents, spend time with them.
Got it.
Developing.
So that's what, 6, 7 offices I counted.
Yeah.
You've been with us for 3 years now?
This will be my fourth.
This will be your fourth.
This will be my fourth year.
And you guys just missed, not to bring up,
That's okay.
Hit the pain, but
we can bring it up.
Yeah,
that's okay.
So what happened last year? I mean, 10 million is Agency Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, looks like you hit it. You're like, no, we missed by 300K,
yeah.
right? Well, was in the beginning of the year, did you think you were going to hit Agency Hall of Fame? Was that a goal of yours?
I knew we were going to get close.
Okay.
We did a little bit of a rebuild towards the end. We scaled back a little bit around,
get rid of some people?
Around October. We had to toss some people.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, we had, sometimes it's good to take a step back, to take a couple steps forward. So we scaled back a little bit so we could scale forward. We missed it. We're not worried about it. We'll hit by July.
Yeah, I mean, you guys already this year at like 2.3 million. Well, this is actually as of the end of February.
Right.
So you are definitely on track. I mean, probably do close to 20.
Yeah.
What's the goal?
We're shooting for 35.
35 million this year. Yeah, that's awesome. So 7 offices, or 6 going on 7. How many agents you got?
So I personally have about 72.
Okay.
Under Horizon as a whole, I think we have close to 200.
Got it. And what is your background prior to this?
So I worked in another company with Matt Casey.
Yep.
So we worked together at our prior company. We worked in a timeshare sales company.
Okay.
Whenever he pulled the plug, I pulled the plug with him. I said, let's ride.
What about before timeshares? What'd you do?
So I was in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
After that, I was also in. I actually was a server for a while.
Restaurant server?
Yeah.
Okay.
I worked at a sushi restaurant called Nama.
Okay.
And worked for that for a couple years. Just odds and ends.
Yep.
Like I didn't really do anything too serious.
When did you join the Marine Corps?
I was 17.
Yeah. What'd you do?
I was just 35, 31. I was a motor T operator.
Okay.
So I didn't really do anything.
Didn't do anything?
No, I was a
How long were you in for?
About 5 years.
5 years. Well, thank you for your service, dude. Why'd you get out?
I got into sales. So I got into timeshare sales with Matt Casey.
Oh, so you went right from Marine. How'd you meet Matt?
So he was actually my boss. So
in the Marines?
No. In the timeshare company. So one of my buddies, Hayden, he actually said, hey, one of my buddies, he made a bunch of money last month. Mm-hmm. He went over to this company. I said, okay, cool. Let me go check it out. And went over there and applied and got placed with Matt Casey. And
okay. So he didn't recruit you to timeshares. You just ended up at the same company.
I just ended up at his site. And then
got it.
First year or so, I bothered him a lot. So.
And the company you came from, was that timeshares?
Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't went timeshares on your own.
Yep.
What attracted you to timeshares?
It was an opportunity for me to get into sales.
Yeah. You wanted to get into sales.
I wanted to get into sales. Yeah.
Why would you know about sales at that point?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Zero. But I did know that I had a gift of communicating with people.
Okay.
So I wanted to kind of explore that avenue, and
Got it.
It's worked out so far.
And sales is lucrative. I'm sure you probably heard that.
Sales is lucrative.
Yep. And how long were you at that company before you jumped over to where Matt was working?
Well, I was with Matt for 4 years at that company.
Oh, okay.
So
gotcha.
I was a sales manager there for a while.
Yep. What did you like about it?
I like developing people.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite part about it was actually developing reps, helping them get to a level that they thought they could accomplish. But it was, I think Matt talked about it when he came on here. It's you were limited, you were capped. Right. There was not a clear path for growth, and at the end of the day, I was working for somebody.
Yeah. What did you do your best year there, income wise?
My best year, I did about 260.
260. Got it. Expenses or no?
No. W-2.
All W-2.
Yeah.
Got it. And then Matt said he was jumping to insurance. You just followed, or was there?
I said, when are we leaving?
You didn't even think about it. Just why? Because you trusted Matt.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt's been a mentor to me since I got into our prior company.
Got it.
And so I wherever he said we're going, I'm going.
Yep. Now, did you at that point? How did you feel about timeshares? Were you wanting to get out on your own as well?
I was ready to be out.
You were, yeah.
Yeah, I was done.
Got it. So I remember when we were at the old company, it's similar deal with Sean, and we met one day. We were running appointments about 40 minutes north of here, and then he called me. He's like, "I got an extra appointment," so we meet. We're literally in this side neighborhood, just bullshitting, and he's like, "Dude, we're gonna quit." And I was like, "Thank God," because I've been wanting to quit. I just had nowhere to go. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So
I'm ready to go. Yeah, let's leave now.
So I mean, did you feel that when Matt told you? Or
I
you
did.
excited? Yeah,
yeah.
Ready to go.
I was ready to go.
Yeah. Did you even ask where are we going?
No. No. I said, when are we leaving?
Yep. When you first got into sales, how was that transition? Because you came, military background, server, obviously you can talk, but sales is a little different, right? Did you pick it up quick?
I actually did.
Yeah.
I did pick it up pretty quick. So my first 9 months, I got into management, actually. Okay. Zero management, zero sales experience.
Yeah.
I really didn't know what I was doing, to be honest.
Right.
But I found that, sales is just a skill just like anything else.
Yeah.
The more you work at it, the better you get. Mm-hmm. The more you spend time developing your craft, the better you get. So I just kind of took that approach with sales.
Got
it just kind of grew from there.
How was the transition from timeshares to selling life insurance?
It doesn't translate.
No? Did you struggle in the beginning?
No, it does translate to a degree. That's not true. But, it's just a different type of sale.
Yeah.
It's a lot more of making sure that the client is put into the best position possible. It's making sure that you listen to the client. It's making sure that you are assessing the client's needs, making sure that you're just helping them.
Yeah.
And
would you say timeshare is more transactional?
I would say that it can be in some places.
Right. And then obviously here it's the client's buying you more than anything.
Correct.
Right. There, I mean, it's wherever you're traveling to, it's got to be a nice spot. There's but here it's the products are the products. So I love when the carriers come up yeah, but our product, I'm like, dude, your product's the same as their product, and their product's the same as your product. The comp's a little different, certain medications, but let's not act like it's that deep, dude. It's term insurance.
When they die, you pay.
Yeah, what's different about your 30-year term than their 30-year term? They both end in 30 years, right? Come on. Yeah. But timeshare's different, right? I mean, you may have a complete shithole, you may have an amazing place, so but here it's more selling you, right?
Right.
How did you make that adjustment?
I just really tried to connect with the client.
Yeah.
That's really it. You really just try to connect with them on a real level. I spoke about this on stage, actually giving a shit about the agent. It's actually about giving a shit about the client as well and making sure that you can actually put them in a better position than when you found them. Got it.
Did you try this the timeshare way when you first started?
No, because I knew it was a different type of sale, right? I mean, it's you can't try to fit a square peg into a round hole,
right?
And I feel like trying to apply that to what we do now just does not work.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of a learning curve. I think more of a learning curve that we had more than anything was understanding the insurance lingo. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what scares a lot of new agents away as well. Is you come in, you're learning about accelerated death benefit riders, term ROP, indexes. You're like, oh my God, this is a whole new language.
Right. It sounds complicated.
It does, but it's not.
No,
it's not at all.
I remember our old sales training, Sean. It was partly joking, but he'd get up and go, "Well, here's how it works. if the client buys a policy and they die, it pays. If they have return of premium and they don't die, it pays. They get their money back. Yeah. And then when you sell the policy, you get paid.
Yeah.
What else you want to know?
Yeah. It's about it.
But it's like we overcomplicate things, right? Like in anything. I'm sure you saw it in timeshares, marine, everyone, it's like they take something that's simple and make it so complicated.
Absolutely.
Like why? Just let's break it down to what it is. We're sitting down, meeting with someone that asked us for help, right? When you were in timeshares, were there leads? How were you getting your clients? Cold calling?
They had a marketing team.
Okay.
I mean,
so they're generally interested.
Yeah, you could say that maybe.
A little bit.
No, to be honest, everybody came in to say no.
Got it.
So you knew they were coming.
So it was a battle, pretty much.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was different.
Yeah, a lot of.
But you did know you were walking in each day. You were going to get 2 or 3 opportunities, and then then you go home.
Yeah. Back then, if you met with 10 people, how many do you think you were going to sell a timeshare to?
If you closed 1 out of 10, you were good. If you closed 2 out of 10, you were a superstar.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think when you came over here and like once you got going, like do you close like 7 or 8 out of 10? Like,
I mean, I was. It's like a pig in shit, man. Yeah. I was having a great time, man.
Right? Did you believe it? Because I'm sure, like when coming in, I'm sure you heard that, but
I believed Matt.
Yeah.
So I knew that Matt wouldn't bring us into a place where we couldn't make money.
Got it.
So
yeah. So your first year with us sold about 337,000.
First 6 months I did 268.
Yeah.
First full year I did 337. Last year I did year after that I did 555.
Yeah.
Last year I did like 184, but we finished
exactly.
that.
Do you know your numbers?
I do.
That's awesome. What'd you do from 22 to 23 to jump from 337 to 555?
So we switched to virtual sales.
Okay.
We just found that versus in-home was great, but we wanted to find something that was scalable.
Yeah.
And virtual sales is obviously what everybody's doing now.
Right.
You can just talk to more people.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. The more people you talk to, the more hands you shake, the more money you make, and the more people you talk to, the more families you help.
Got it. What happened in 24?
Last year?
Yeah.
We grew.
Yeah. It's funny because you're like, well, 550, 184, but you guys grew as an agency.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
So we did, I think when I did 555 back in 23, I just started talking to people about it.
Yeah.
And at that point, when you write that much volumes, people are going to ask you, like,
Absolutely.
hey, what do you...
So you didn't really start recruiting until your second year?
I did a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we did 23, I did 555, we did about 2.5 as a group. So I had a small core group of people.
Yeah.
Which a majority of that core group, Donna, Logan Talley, Logan Leah, Austin Pena, they're all still here.
Okay.
But we really focused on scaling this last year. We focused on developing more agents, helping more agents help more families.
Yep.
And then we exploded. We've just been talking about what we've been doing to people, and at this point, people are calling us saying, "Hey, what are you guys doing still?"
It's a great point, though. Like, look at your numbers. First year, 337 personal. You guys did about 770 agency. So you and a few people.
Correct.
Then you up that the second year, but you're selling over $500,000, and then your team does 2.5.
Right.
It's a lot easier to recruit when you're selling at a high level.
It's a lot easier.
I mean, it just comes natural, dude.
It does.
I remember running out of appointments to just, what do you guys do? Well, here's what I just did. I sat down with this couple, wrote them each a policy, made $2,000. That's what we do. You want to do that? But it's so natural. So when people say, well, Mike, I can't recruit because I'm selling. Like, what are you talking about?
Doesn't make any sense,
right? That
doesn't make sense.
So talk me through that year, right? Because that's a high jump in volume. What were you doing from a recruiting standpoint? And you said you guys didn't even really start scaling until the next year, but going from 770 to 2.5, like you're selling 23, you're virtual now, right? But talk to me about the recruiting and how you were doing that.
From 23 to 24?
Yes.
So I mean, I was traveling a lot, and to be honest, I would just post what I'm doing. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
I was posting, hey,
I'm in social media.
I'm in Florida. Hey, I'm in California now. Hey, I'm in Colorado. Hey, I'm on a ski trip. Hey, I'm in New York.
Now, you had people in these areas, or you're just traveling?
No. When I was just selling, I was just kind of minding my business.
Okay.
We were helping scale the company, helping scale Horizon, but for the most part, I was just selling on my own pen, kind of minding my business.
Gotcha.
And then eventually, it got to a point where people were just, hey,
Yeah.
let me come on. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what you're doing. So then 24, we switched around a little bit, and that's when my travel switched from personal travel to actually going places. Like, you know, I remember in the beginning of 24, before I moved to Utah, I went and spent a month in Vegas with Austin Pena and his group out of Vegas, which they're doing about, in a year, they've gotten up to about $660,000 a month.
Okay.
So they're killing it.
Yeah.
But went out there, helped scale them up, taught them our process, taught them how to sell insurance, taught them how to help families, and then they just started running.
Yeah.
You know, they at this point, like, you know, they don't even really need a ton of help at this point because they're growing organically.
Right.
You know, but going out of your way and spending some time with like individual group leaders, I think that's a huge point that a lot of people miss.
Absolutely.
You know, if you can duplicate yourself into one person, that person can duplicate yourself into 30.
Yeah, 100%. And now you spend most of your time bouncing around from office to office. So what is that like? You see people sit back, oh, so you just go out and hang out with these guys? Like, is that how you get them going? No. Like, so you're on this trip. It's not just all fun and games, right?
No.
So what are you doing?
So we'll go in, like, for example, we were in, me and Austin Pena were in Tampa about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We launched, we had a training class of about 15 agents. So put them in a training class, went over product knowledge, sales process, how to sell, how to understand, how to listen to clients, how to hear what clients are saying. But we spent a lot of time actually hands-on with the agents, actually helping them sell.
Got it.
So making sure that the agents are getting paid, making sure they understand process, compliance, product knowledge, you know, spending that time to develop them is pretty much what we do in every office now. Yeah. You know, plus making sure that the culture's intact, making sure that people, you know, can see me and actually spend time with me instead of just seeing me behind a Zoom call is I think it's really important.
It's huge. It's getting, I mean, we were local. We were all New England with people. The furthest we had was like people in New Hampshire. Right. They drive 2 hours. They could be here every week. Right. And then when we started really building it, that's when Sean was on the road. Dude, he would leave Monday, come back Friday, and he'd go out west. We were out in the Bay. Dominique was out there. He'd be down in North Carolina, all over the place. But 3-4 days a week traveling, and then coming back Friday to meet with staff and do those things. But at the end of the day, it is work, but it is simple. Yes. Right. Like correct me if I'm wrong. Anything you're doing is not like freaking rocket science. No. It's pretty simple.
It's very simple.
Which is why you said it's duplicatable. And that's all we're looking for is people that can do what you're doing, and then teach someone else to do what they're doing. Correct. And it's like, how many, like right now you're running around training people, but are you still recruiting personally?
Absolutely.
Yep. What's that 100%. Look like?
I mean, it's people calling me, asking me, what are you doing? How are you doing it? You know, it's me, like there's a guy in Utah that I went down, you know, it was late one night. It was like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night on a Friday. Yeah. And he was like, hey, do you have time to come meet with me? Went to his house, sat down with him, had some dinner, chatted. And then he's going to bring over a group of probably 5 or 6 reps.
How'd you meet this guy?
He called one of my leaders. Yeah. So he called Austin Pena, called him. Austin put me in contact with him, said, hey, can you go meet with this guy? Yeah. I ran over and met with him, you know. So it's what we do is we kind of run as like one unit. Yeah. Right? So like obviously like Horizon has like a lot of sub entities at this point. Sure. But we all kind of run together as one. Yeah. So like if team. Yes. So if like, you know, Jordan needs help in Knoxville, I'm going to go help Jordan in Knoxville. If Ian needs help in Tampa, I'm going to go help Ian in Tampa. If Austin needs help in Vegas, I'm going to go help Austin. If Donna needs help, I'm going to go help Donna. We run together as one, which I think is kind of what has gotten us to this point at this point. Got it.
You mentioned Austin a lot.
I have.
Is he one of your strongest guys?
He's strong.
Yeah. How'd you find him?
So in between leaving my old company that me and Matt worked at and coming into FFL, I went and worked in solar for about 60 days.
How was that?
I was there for 60 days. But Austin actually ran the solar company. Oh, okay. He ran that entire solar company that I went and worked for. So after I had wrote a lot of business, he reached out, hey, what are you doing? Told him.
Oh, so when you left, he saw what you were doing. Was like, oh shit.
It took a couple years.
Gotcha.
But he eventually saw that and was like, hey, what are you doing? And then he transitioned his group out. He left his solar company completely.
Got it. Do solar guy. I mean, no offense to solar guys, but sometimes they're the worst.
They can be.
They was at Home Depot not too long ago, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get some trim for like this little closet I'm working on. And the guy's standing there. I just walk in. I'm like,
you want some panels?
Yeah, he's like, how much you pay for you? I said, bro, no offense. I'm not interested in anything you have to say right now. I'm just trying to get my trim and leave. No, but hey, keep it up.
Yeah.
It's not with me.
But have you heard about the net metering program?
Oh my God! Then he came back like, "What do you?" I said, "Bro." It was just like that. I'm like, "Hey, remember the part where I'm not interested in anything? It still goes right now."
And then you get home.
No, he didn't follow me home. Thank God. He was actually cool about it. He just started laughing. He was like, "All right, I got you, bro." He's like, "So tomorrow, same time?" I'm like, "Yeah, tomorrow, same time, right here. I'll buy all the panels off you." Like, but dude, those guys
they're good.
Yeah,
they're great. If you can learn how to harness their skill sets,
yes.
They're unbelievable.
Absolutely. They're workers, but to your point, it's like, dude, if I want solar, I was going to get solar.
Correct.
Like, I don't need you to hound me in freaking Home Depot about it. Like, I know they exist. I see them on most houses. Like, we're good. I know where to get it.
But that industry's collapsing right now. It's starting to fold. I actually had another guy reach out to me on Facebook like 3 or 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Same thing. He's got a solar team up here in Massachusetts. He's like, hey, dude, like, I need out.
Yeah.
Help me. Like, I see, you guys are doing good. I don't know what you guys are doing, but it's better than what we're doing.
Now, what's going on? Is it just oversaturated? Is new compliance things?
It's all of it.
Yeah.
It's, I always looked at solar as kind of like a gold rush.
Yeah.
It was great for a period of time, but it was too Wild West for too long.
Right.
And so it's just getting shut down.
Yeah.
I don't see that industry surviving too much longer.
There's only so many houses with solar on.
Well, it'll always be around, but they're not going to need these, 200-person door knocking teams to go run around and sell solar. It's just not going to be profitable eventually.
Is that what you did during your 60 days?
I did.
Your door knocking?
I did.
What was that like?
It was fun, honestly.
Was it? Yeah.
I had a blast. I'll say this, the reason why I think, especially like when we were doing in-home, I think it transitioned so well because, they would drop us off in a subdivision and say, all right, have fun. And we would go knock 300, 400, 500 doors.
Yeah.
knock, 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 knock. And you'd be told no, 150, 200 times.
Right.
But those one yeses ended up paying.
Got it.
But I was actually talking to this guy, talking to another kid the other day. I said, hey, if you go out and you knock 100 doors and you only sell one of them, those other 99 still paid you. Mm. I feel like a lot of salespeople forget that they get paid for no's.
Right. Yeah, it's all mindset. However you look at it, like someone said, "Is yours just gamify it?" Like, all right, if I get 10 no's, that means I'm going to get 3 yes, or whatever your numbers are.
Right.
However good or bad your numbers are, once you know them,
they're your numbers.
You're your numbers.
Yeah.
You got the key. You've unlocked you've won the game once you know your numbers.
100%.
As long as you're willing to put that effort in.
100%.
Now, you said it's a kind of a good transition or a good industry for solar people to join, right? Moving from solar. So if you're watching this, you're in solar. Life insurance probably a good, why?
Definitely a good move.
Why do you say that?
I mean, it's sustainable.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I talk to a lot of these solar guys about. It's like, hey, a lot of these solar companies have been around for, 2 years, 3 years. Right. They just popped up.
Right.
Mon Pa solar company here. These insurance companies, they've been around for longer than both of me and you have been alive.
Yeah.
And they're not going anywhere.
Yep. What about their skill set, what they do? Because you're talking about going through all this rejection. Like, I mean, for you, example, how much did that help you when you started dialing leads?
Oh, man.
It's night and day, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you're prepared for rejection.
Correct.
Were you almost expecting, to get all these no's and then, oh, shit, I don't get as many no's?
Yeah. I was expecting to get no's.
Yeah.
That's part of any sales industry.
Correct.
Right? So, we came into it with that mindset. But, it is brutal when you get, you got a stack of 200 leads and you're about 150 of them through. You've been told no, or why the hell are you calling me? Right,
yeah, we're not saying that they don't say no, but it's just not the same percentage.
Correct.
You're not, talking to 300 people for one yes.
Correct.
The ratios are better.
Correct.
But because that is a thing that, we recruit a lot of non-sales people. Right? A lot of time, especially our mentality back in the day was we'd rather you have military or athletic experience than sales experience.
I agree.
Right?
100%.
Like why? Because you were in the service, you get systems, right?
Correct.
Hey, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Here's why you do it. Got it.
And not only that, but I feel like a lot of salespeople have bad habits.
Yes.
And it's a lot easier to take a blank canvas and paint it than take a canvas that's been painted and repaint it.
Absolutely.
It's not saying it's impossible, but
I've seen it, but it's like if I'm a betting man, I'm going to take the young 22-year-old who has no experience in anything
yes.
over the 40-year-old sales guy.
100%. Because
here's what they tell me all the time. They go, I've been doing this for so long, Mike, I don't need the training. I'm like, oh, God. I'm so good. Then they say stupid shit. I can sell ice to Eskimos and all this stupid stuff that nobody thinks is funny.
Then why are you still in sales?
And why are you looking for a job?
At 40.
At 40?
Yeah.
Like, I'm almost 40 now, but this is going back to, I'm in my 20s talking to guys in their 40s. Like, bro, you called me for a job off of Craigslist, my guy. Like, Craigslist, okay? Yeah. And you're giving me shit?
Yeah.
You don't need my training? Mm-hmm. You're 42 years old. You told me you're broke, but you got it all figured out.
Yeah, 100%.
It's insane.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You should be lucky to have me.
Yeah, I have to go. You know what? Next. That's the beauty about recruiting, though. It's like, we don't need you.
We turn away a lot of people.
Yeah. What do you think if you talk to 10 recruits, how many think you are turning away?
I'm going to turn away half of them.
Half of them.
At least.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's great. What are some red flags? What are some signs that you pick up early on? Because this is something I talk about a lot on here, Michael, is agents, especially when they're brand new and they're recruiting, they get in this honeymoon phase.
Correct.
Right? Like, they recruit you, and even though you're saying all the wrong shit, there's all these red flags. They ignore them because they get, I got a guy. How many times have you heard that? I got a guy.
I have the guy.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to be great.
This guy is the guy we've been looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone has them. It's like, y'all all have the guy. Like, then they're not the guy.
Yeah.
Right? And also, you never know.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have you been proven wrong? If you bet on all your recruits, say, this guy's probably going to kill it, these two won't.
I've been wrong more than half the time.
More than half.
Yeah.
So don't prejudge. Give everybody a shot.
Correct.
But talk to these, because that, I think, is a huge piece that a lot of recruiters are missing is this is not a W-2 job. Mm-hmm. I don't have to even give you a reason why I don't want to recruit you.
Correct.
I can just say, no, I'm good, dude. I don't like the color of your suit. That's it.
Correct.
But Mike, no, I don't want you to work with me.
Right.
What are some red flags you pick up on immediately and go, you know what, I'm gonna move past this guy?
So what you just said, I've been in sales for 40 years. I'm looking for a new job, but they've bounced between this company and this company and this company. So if you have somebody that's they've worked for 5, 6, 7, 8 companies, well, the grass is green where you water it at.
Right.
Instead of jumping ship every couple years, you should stay somewhere and actually water your garden. So that's always a red flag.
Because somebody's making money at those companies.
Somebody's making money.
Yeah.
And it's not them.
Right.
And that's why they're leaving.
Absolutely.
They're just coming here to do the same thing.
Correct.
Somebody that doesn't fit in with our culture. So if it's somebody that you can just kind of tell they're going to be a cancer to the culture, they've got to go before they can even start.
Absolutely.
Probably another one is, honestly, like a lot of these high level sales guys that I've ran into, a lot of them are just a walking red flag.
Yeah.
They want to talk about how great they are, how incredible they were at this company, how much volume they wrote. Those guys are generally not people that we like to bring on. Not because they don't have the experience, right? They've definitely got the experience, but the problem with a lot of these guys is they're not coachable.
Right.
And that's the biggest red flag. If somebody's not coachable, they're going to drown here in 60 days.
And they'll never fit into the culture because there's a good shot that the culture you have, the culture we have here, is not the culture at these other companies.
No.
So they're not used to it.
Correct.
But and you said they always talk about themselves. One thing, we just met today. Like, I've seen you at convention. I know I've handed you awards, but it's the first time we've actually met.
Correct.
And we've been talking for, 25 minutes or so. And you've talked more about the people on your team than every time I ask you something, it's this, but no, it's this guy. And that stuff's huge, but you can't teach that. No,
actually, no, you can.
Okay,
I think it's a developable skill.
Yeah,
but I think it takes hardship. I think you have to go through hardship for you to realize that sometimes that it's not about yourself, it's about the team, and sometimes it takes that. I mean, it took it for me.
You went through hardship to realize that?
Yeah, are you kidding me?
What was that hardship?
Okay, so I think Matt talked about it. We got rolled about in our second year. We got rolled like $140,000 a day. Yeah. And we were just not. Well, Matt was a little bit more ready. I was not ready for it.
No,
no.
You never had anything like this in
no,
solar or timeshare, nothing, right?
No, I woke up one day and I had looked at my America statement that morning. I pulled it up and it said, "You owe $92,000 to America," and I said, "All right." And I remember I called Matt. I said, hey, so I'm going to file for bankruptcy and I'm going to roll you this debt. So have fun with this insurance shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, we did. We went through a pretty hard time.
Yeah.
Like, that was a very challenging period of time during our business. And, you know, it made me really realize that it does take a team.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a team of individuals that have the same vision, same mindset, you know, same goals in mind.
Right.
You know, in order for you to actually to do big things in this industry.
Yeah. And dude, with the way this business works, with the wrong people, you can get hurt pretty quick.
Very, very quickly.
Like, how much was that roll up? About 100K?
We had about 140.
Yeah. It's like, you're lucky it was only 140. Like, I'm not minimized, but
No.
Dude,
Yeah,
there's some, I mean, I'm sure you've heard stories from some
$1 million.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it happens quick. And it's the guy, it's always the one who's the guy. Oh, they came in. Dude, they sold 50 grand their first week. You're celebrating. I'm like, dude, call the clients, please.
Get
off the phone with me.
Stop talking to me.
Exactly.
Stop talking to me. Call the clients right now.
100%, dude. It's like, dude, if it looks bad, it's probably bad. Where there's smoke, there's fire normally.
One of my good mentors, he always says to not trust your gut, but trust your grunt. So if you have that grunt in your stomach, it's always right.
Absolutely.
And I think that's one of the things that I ignored when we first got into this.
Okay.
It's because I was.
So you saw some of these red flags.
Oh yeah,
But you were the guy like, oh, we're killing it.
Hell yeah, we're killing it. You know, and then all of a sudden I woke up. I'm like, oh, I'm getting killed.
Yes. Like, were you shocked when you saw where the 100K came from?
Initially, yes.
Yeah.
Right out the gate, yeah, because one of the guys that I had brought on, he was actually a good buddy of mine.
Okay.
So I was a little shocked at first, but then after 60, 90 days of a little bit of self-reflection, looking back on the business, looking back at where we're at, I was like, damn.
You're like, damn, I should have seen this.
I should have seen this from a mile away. And Matt did. Matt saw it from a mile away, but I was like, oh no, bro, we're good. We're good. We're good.
Did you think about quitting?
I quit 1,000 times.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you got that roll up.
I did quit.
You did.
I called him and I quit. I called Matt. I said, hey, bro, I'm filing for bankruptcy and I'm out.
Yep.
I'm on Indeed. I mean, I remember I was in a church parking lot in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I had already been no-showed 5 times that day.
Oh, damn.
And I was sitting there. I hadn't been paid in probably 2 months or so because I had debt in all the carriers. And I called Matt. I said, hey, I'm done.
Yeah.
And he was like, bro, we just got to keep going. You know, we got to push another 60 days, push another 60 days, push another 60 days. And we pushed. Yeah. But that's why it's important to have somebody like that to lean on.
Right. If you didn't have Matt, you would have quit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You'd have been going. You'd have been back in solar or something.
I'd have been knocking doors. I'd have been serving sushi again. I mean, anything, man. I'd have been doing anything else.
Well, let's talk about that solar to life insurance transition, because I do the thing about like the kid at Home Depot, good kid.
Yeah.
I should have recruited him. But
why didn't you?
Because I didn't. I don't know. I wanted to go home and trim out my closet.
There it is.
But I should have. But there's a lot of good people in that business.
Correct.
That maybe been tricked to be in it. Maybe were sold a dream.
Yep.
Probably, right? You hear that happens a lot of times. But there's a lot of good people there that probably would do really well with it.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, so for people who don't, like, how does, from a pay standpoint, how does solar work? So you come to my house, you sell me solar. What are you making? So
you go to the house, you sell them a set of panels. You're going to get paid. Well, when I first got into it, you were getting paid, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a deal.
Okay.
So you're getting paid pretty good.
Yeah.
But the problem now is, like, there's a lot of dealer fees. Interest rates are through the roof.
Okay.
A lot of these companies are filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
It's
not stable.
It's just not stable. It's not sustainable. It's like I was saying earlier. Like it was a gold rush for a while.
Right.
There's some people that did very well and did very well for themselves and very well for their families, but it's not a sustainable industry, and it's not. It's just not great.
Was it Matt who told you? Who explained to you how you get paid in insurance? Was it Matt?
Matt did after I started. Yeah.
Yeah. After you started, but when you heard, like, what did you think? Like, did you think it was legit, or like he was?
I believed it.
Yeah.
I mean, because I came from a couple of different sales companies, so I knew how commissions worked.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and
made a lot of sense, actually. I liked it. I was like, this is great. I can get residuals. I can get back ends. I can build a book of business. I mean, that was what attracted me, honestly, more towards it, was the longevity of it versus just the quick hit of commission like a lot of these other companies are.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I go back to when I first met Sean over, 10, 15 years ago now, and that I'd be lying if I didn't say that the money was what attracted me.
Mm-hmm.
I was in construction, not making much money, up and down, and this was 2009. And he broke down the pay. And what he said was, he was using an example of a recent client. He said, I sat down with, Mary, wrote her policies, about $83 a month, $1,000 for the year. At that point, I think his compensation was like 80, right? So it's like I get 80% of that, $800. They're going to advance me 75% of that up front. As long as the policy stays on the books, I'm good. And then I'll get the remaining of that in the next, end of the year.
Right.
So basically, one sale is going to make me $800.
Right.
And that's a normal size sale. Some are bigger, some are smaller. But if you average them all out, back then, probably a little higher now with the IULs, right? Like, what would you say your agency's average annual premium is right now?
So we sell a lot of final expense.
Do a lot of final, okay.
We do mostly final expense, but our annual premium is about $1,350.
$1,350, yep.
Yeah.
And then if you're in IULs, it's probably close to $2,000, right?
Correct.
Yep. But either way, you're making on average, at the lowest comp, $700-800 a sale.
Correct.
Right? And you can do that as many times as you want. That was the key, too. Is like, you can do this as many times as you want during a week.
Over and over again.
Over and over.
All week long.
Yep. And then there's opportunities for, like, once you sell one set of panels at the house, you can't, like, then sell the mom, then sell, like, it's one per house, right?
That's one house, you're done. You're
Yes.
moving on.
But here, especially with final expense, how many times is it multiple applications in one house?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
I remember when I was doing in-home, there was my biggest day I ever had in-home was 22,000. And I think I sold like 9 or 10 policies that day.
Yeah.
But my biggest chunk of that day was actually my very first house.
Okay.
And I sold five policies for almost 11,000 annual premium out of that one house.
Got it.
So it's like you just never know.
Yeah.
You again prejudging.
Absolutely.
Not the family I thought was going to buy 11,000 in annual premium
Right.
of policies, but they needed the protection.
Yeah. Dude, it's always the one you least expect. I remember I was in New Haven, about an hour from here. And, like, you been in New Haven?
I haven't, no.
Okay, well.
I've heard of it.
Yes, probably for bad reasons. Some area. Great pizza, but it's like most cities. There's some streets.
I've heard they got good pizza.
Oh,
there.
yeah. But there's some streets you're like, you probably don't want to spend too much time down there, right? So I was at one of those streets. I had an appointment, and this guy, it was in this, like, 3-family house. He's upstairs, banging on the door. He's not there. And I'm going back to my car, and I see some dude just walking down the street. He's like, yo. I'm like, what's up? He's like, what you doing over there? I'm like, I had an appointment with this guy. Yeah. He goes, oh, that effing guy always does that shit. He always has an appointment. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm just going back to my car. Like, whatever, dude. Like, I have, 8 more appointments today. Yeah. He's like, what are you selling? I'm like, life insurance. He's like behind his fence now. He's like looking around. I'm like, it's just life insurance. He's like, I need some of that. I'm like, really? Like right now? He's like, yeah, come inside. I'm like, either I'm being set up or like, because he was just, the way he was talking made it seem like really suspicious. Like he's looking, what you selling? Like I go in there, dude. His brother's there. He's got some kids. So I wrote him, wrote his brother, and wrote Children's Whole Life on all of his kids who walked out like $2,000 in premium and got no show. This guy never filled out a lead.
Yeah.
Had no idea I was going to be there, but because his neighbor always no-shows people and he just happened to be walking by,
he's like, where's damn insurance guy at?
Absolutely. Dude, but it's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's the thing about this. Like, I think, and this is not hey, we're going to shit on solar, but everybody doesn't need solar.
No.
Solar is, it's a nice alternative, whatever. You can say, I heard the pitch. I get it.
I got a buddy that he has like 70 acres in Tennessee, lives off the grid, has solar. He loves it.
Sure.
It's great for him.
Right.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everyone. You got too many trees in your yard, you can't have it anyway, right? Like,
Correct.
Life insurance, everybody needs it.
Everybody.
Everyone needs it. Whether you own a house, whether you don't, whether you're unemployed, you need life because when you die, everyone may not need the same amount, but you need something. Because
you're going to die.
Right.
Everybody's going to die.
And that's the biggest, one of the things that if you're looking at this business should be the most attractive factor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the money is great. The training great, the people, the team, all that stuff. The culture is wonderful, but it's the need.
Absolutely.
Are you selling something that someone actually needs?
Correct.
And you've done both.
Correct.
How much harder is it to sell things that people don't really need?
It's a lot harder.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder.
Right.
And it's nice to at the end of the day when you help a family, like, I had a guy, I ended up helping him get it into a $15,000 policy one time.
Yeah.
Made one payment and he died.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but you know, if I hadn't had like a hard conversation with him and said, hey, you know, this is something that you need, this is something your family needs, obviously you understand that, and helped him get into that policy,
Right.
His family truly would not have been able to bury him.
Right.
You know, and that feeling is better than any of the money.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, you want to gauge somebody, see how they react when they get their first death claim.
100%.
Like, you know, it's, are you doing this for you or for the client?
Correct.
Right. And when you put the client first, it's like, that's not, Family First Life is not just like some catchy name we thought of trying to be cute. Like, that was our strategy, even at the old company, was if I'm sitting down with you, Michael, and I put you and your family first in that moment, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to leave you better. When I leave, you'll be in a better position than when I got there.
100%.
You and your family.
And that's the golden rule.
Yep. Absolutely. So does that mean sometimes we walk away, right? Sometimes maybe there's nothing we can do.
There's a lot of times you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of times you just got to walk away and say, hey, this is unfortunately a family I can't help.
Absolutely.
You know, but the ones that you do help, you know, you can make you can make more of an impact on that family's life than a lot of people realize.
Do you remember your first death claim? Or is there one
honest,
that stands out the most? Is there like most impactful?
That one I just talked about.
Yeah.
Because he was hard headed.
Yeah. Was that in person or virtual?
It was virtual.
Yeah.
So he had a policy. He was in a waiting period actually.
Yeah.
And he was eligible for immediate coverage.
Oh, so he was integrated policy already.
He was integrated policy.
Yeah.
And he told me he said like he had another 6 to 8 months left on that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey dude, like you should not be in a waiting period based off of your health conditions with this carrier. This carrier is going to give you immediate coverage. And he was very, very, very hard-headed about it. And, you know, after talking to him and honestly what it came down to was just listening to what his concern was.
Yeah.
Which his biggest concern was he was going to go back into another waiting period. I was like, hey, like yes, you'll be in a contestability period.
Right.
But you're not going to be graded.
Yeah.
You know, and they paid his family out. And they wouldn't have paid his family out. That other company wouldn't have paid his family out if we didn't help him.
Right. You said he still had at least 6 to 8 months.
He had another 6 to 8 months.
Yeah. Why was he in that? Stupid agent? Or?
It was, you know, to be honest, I think it was one of his health conditions at the time. It wasn't aligning.
The time frame wasn't. Yeah.
The time frame. He was like right on the back end of that time frame.
Got it.
And so they put him into that graded policy. Yeah. But if he would have waited like another 3 or 4 months, he would have gotten.
Or if the agent would have done an annual review.
Or if the agent would have followed up with his business.
Followed up, hey.
Correct.
Because that's something you make a note on. Hey, this dude had this 6 months ago, right?
Let me call him here in 6 months after his health conditions pass.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep. So then you were able to move him over, get him coverage, and he died how long after?
He made one payment, died 3 days after his first payment.
How'd you find it? Family call you?
Family called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, what'd you think when you got that call?
I was like, I was speechless.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, damn, that's really, really sad. But, you know, I felt really good at the end of the day because I knew that we really did help his family into a better position than when we found him.
You got him 15 grand?
He got 15 grand.
And he would have had nothing.
He would have,
or with premiums back.
Yeah, he would have got his premiums back.
Yeah.
He had like a $7,500 graded policy. Like, he would have got a few $100, maybe $1,000.
And you had to push. A lot of agents, especially early on, would have walked away from that, right?
Absolutely.
Well, he's got a policy, Michael. He's good, right?
Yeah, but you don't know unless you actually review their policy.
Yeah.
Unless you talk to them.
Actually, you're gonna be on TNL this week as well.
Okay.
And we're gonna talk about that, how to get policies, because that is a huge piece to your sale. And I've never done anything virtual. We were all in the home back in the day, and that was a huge piece. Like, I saw so many agents lose appointments because they wouldn't get the policy.
Correct.
Or they took the first, objection. Well, I don't know where it is.
Right.
Dude, how many places
call the carrier.
Call the carrier. But 9 times out of 10, when I'm like, hey, it's probably in a drawer somewhere, or there's only so many places you're going to put your life insurance, but right?
Correct.
It's not going to be like
drawer,
with the beach chairs or in
bed.
the attic. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, magically, they go find it in like 2 minutes.
Yep.
Or to your point, they absolutely can't. Well, what carrier is it with? I don't know. Okay, go on your bank statement and find it. Let's call them with me here.
Yep.
And how many times do you sit down with a client and they tell you the policy is one thing, and then when you look at it or call the carrier,
something
else?
Totally else.
Most times.
It's because agents, again, they don't follow up with their business.
Correct. How many times I've sat down and went, dude, that's all accidental. because they start, shouting, oh, I got, $300,000 for life for $12 a month. So you have an accidental death and dismemberment policy.
Yeah, and Ted's 70 and bought it a year ago.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, sure. They definitely gave that to you. Matter of fact, get a couple more while you're at it. Get me one too. Like, come on. Knock it off.
Yeah.
But you got to be willing to push. Correct. Just like with that client, you had to push.
But it wasn't even really a push. It was just listening to his concerns. It's a lot of times salespeople, they just want to talk.
Yeah.
Right. We want to talk and tell everything we know. But a lot of times where that client truly needs help, they're telling you,
right.
You're just not listening.
Correct.
You got 2 ears and one mouth.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to listen when you're talking about how great you are the whole time.
Exactly.
Which is why it goes back to what we were talking about the recruiting. Mm-hmm. If that's how your recruit is on the phone, that's always my mentality. If this is how they're acting with me on the phone or with one of my staff,
how are they going to act when they get in the office?
Yeah. How are they going to act when they're in a client's home or on a virtual appointment with someone? Mm-hmm. The same damn way, probably worse.
It's always worse.
Yep. That's why if I ever get a call from a staff, hey, so-and-so was cussing at me, we terminate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he sells so much. I don't give a shit.
No.
Because if you're going to talk to a staff member here or at an insurance carrier like that, what are you doing to your clients?
Correct. And that person has to, again, back to culture. They got to go.
Absolutely. Because one cancer, and you could have an amazing culture, everybody's great. You introduce one cancerous person to that culture, it's going to spread.
Cancer spreads just as fast as positive energy spreads.
Absolutely.
Spreads just as quickly.
Yep. So you to protect your business, too.
Absolutely.
But you guys are doing an awesome job. I can't wait to give you a Hall of Fame jacket next year because there's no way you're going to miss that shit this year.
No, absolutely not.
Yep. So I appreciate everything you do. I appreciate you coming up, too.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me.
Especially on this wild road trip you're on. So keep kicking ass. You were at the convention, right?
I was, yeah.
Awesome event.
Yeah. I got to speak. That was incredible.
Yeah.
That was, unbelievable experience. Great convention. I think convention this year is probably one of the best ones we've been to.
Yeah, everyone says that. At this point, I'm like, it's just cliche to say it, but our goal is to get better every day, every year. So if we're doing that, we're hitting our goal. We're going to be back there, Irving Convention Center, next year. So tickets are available now, or go to fflconvention.com. There's still some Premier and VIP left. Those go really quick.
Yeah, they do.
We got 500,000 leads last year, dude.
I know. I saw that.
We want to top that this year or next year. So, and then also Ignite Conference. You been to the Ignite conferences last year?
I have. Yeah. I think I spoke at that one in Palm Beach.
Yep, Palm Beach.
Where it was.
Yeah, we did the Palm Beach one in the fall, and then we did Vegas. This year we're doing one in Phoenix.
Okay.
Actually at the Dream City Church, so Pastor Matthew's father's facility. Nice. Awesome place. So those you can go. I believe right now website will drop in the description. You can get tickets for that. You don't have to pay. It's a free event, but that's in June, first week of June.
And then that one.
Yes, sir. And then we will have one in West Palm again this year. So
nice.
Are you going to Cancun?
Probably not.
No. Oh, that's right. You're on the field now. I put you on the spot. Yeah. That's the one downfall getting out of the field.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. I did make that. I made the cruise last year.
Cruise? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. That was a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to spend some time with, I think it's always nice to get those events together, especially getting like a lot of our agents together. Like, got to spend a lot of time with Logan Leah, which Logan Leah is one of my top producers.
Yeah.
He wrote, actually he is my number one producer. He wrote just over $600,000 last year.
Nice.
Got to spend some time with Logan Talley. He wrote about $600,000.
Yep.
Donna, like, getting to go around and spend time with a lot of those producers is just, it's awesome.
That's awesome. Last thing I'm going to ask you. So you said previous to this, your best year was 2 and change, 260 or something?
260.
What's been your best year since joining FFL? On the spot.
This last year was it was great.
Got it.
It was really good.
Really good? That's all you're going to give me?
It was really good. It was really good.
Really good. Double?
More
than double.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, keep kicking ass, dude. Don't let up.
That.
You got it. Guys, subscribe if you haven't already. Go to fflconvention.com, get your tickets, and you know where to find us every week right here on True Talk. We'll see you next week.